Okay, so this is going to be a Shinshin take, where I have a take on something. I should probably take my headset off so you guys can see my horrible bed head. This is going to be morning coffee with Dead Space. I don't know. Are we going to call it Shinshin take or are we going to call it morning coffee? We'll figure it out later. Anyway, we're going to call this Shinshin morning coffee Dead Space take. Nailed it. So, okay. They are doing a what did they really call it? They're doing a remake of Dead Space. And I'm trying to see if they use the actual word here. But yeah, I believe this is a remake. No, sorry, remaster. It's a re-something. I believe what they're doing is they're taking Dead Space and remaking the first one. I wonder if I can actually. Yeah, okay, it is a remake. Okay, so I don't like when I talk about something when I don't like 100% know it. So it was like really irritating me. So yeah, it is a remake. They're remaking Dead Space 1. I believe they are using the base game and all that. And I don't think it's a bad idea, but there was someone made a comment the other day. And I was reading it and I was just kind of like, that's kind of true. In that EA took Dead Space and they pushed the whole, it has to be an action game. Now, how much did EA push for it to be an action game versus how much did the original studio push for it? I believe it was probably a little bit on both. I mean, Dead Space 2 picked up I never, don't take my word for 100%. I've never played them. I've read reviews. I've watched people play them, etc., etc., okay? But it does seem to me that the studio intended them to be a little bit more action-y as time went on. In that, obviously you can't keep doing horror jump scares for 3 games, right? So I think they intended it to be a little bit more action-y. But at either rate, it appears to me that EA pushed for them a little bit harder, and definitely the microtransactions were on them. And the third game got really messed up by that, and things were not going great. Anyway, the studio was shut down when Dead Space 3, let's call it, flopped. It didn't make nearly enough, and the whole thing kind of went, but it's not critically liked either. Some games that are less popular can still survive on their critical appeal, right? But it's weird to me that Dead Space is being remade by EA, because when you really think about it, right? And I mean, when you really, and this is the take I heard, and I was kind of like, that's true. When you really look at it, right? EA killed Dead Space. And again, I'm not going to say 100% EA murdered Dead Space, okay? But it was more like, let's be honest, it was like 80% maybe, okay? So they kind of 80% murdered Dead Space. Now, what they're doing is, because they own the game, they're going back and remaking it. But that feels kind of weird to me, that they're kind of like, hey guys, we killed your game, we're going to remake it though. You should buy it from us again. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they shouldn't go back and maybe rectify their mistakes, but what I am saying is, God, it looks like, just because this part of my hair is dipping a little bit, it looks like I have a terrible hairline, but it's not that I have a terrible hairline, it's that part of my hair is dipping a little bit, and it's really kind of pissing me off. What was I gonna say? So they kill Dead Space, they remake Dead Space, they're getting their money for Dead Space, and then here we see rebooting the franchise. Now, I'm not really sure they should be rebooting this franchise. I don't think they should be. I think it ended. I think that maybe it didn't end on the best note, but it did end. It had a story and it's over. Dead Space ended. For everyone that doesn't actually realize that, Dead Space ended. And I'll show you that real quick. So if I pull this up here really fast. I hope I don't get DMCA'd for this. But we can see, I don't think you can DMC for a video game, can you?
Orbital Control, this is Isaac Clarke.
I'll just play this. The game, the franchise, if you don't want spoilers, look away. Real quick.
Are you sure you got the right channel? This is
Real quick.
200 years old.
Yeah, no, change it over, right? Trust me, it's right.
EarthGov Command. This is Sergeant John Carver. Do you read me? Is anyone there? It's weird.
Okay, maybe you didn't have to look away that quickly.
Lunar flight
I mean, you kind of actually had nearly a full minute.
read us out here?
But now you should look away. Okay, so Dead Space ended. The humans are all dead. It's over. That's how the last DLC ended. It's over. And in my opinion, that also feels really cheaty by EA, that they want to reboot the franchise, but it ended. Didn't end on a great note, okay? The humans all lost. The third game was kind of crappy. The final DLC was okay, right? But it did end. And it kind of feels bad to me that they're going to go ahead and remake the first game and make all this money on a franchise that they killed. Then they're going to try to reboot and make more money off the name of a franchise that they killed. And I hope you guys can see that when I actually heard that take on it, when I heard someone say that, I was kind of like, man, that does feel super ugh. Now, normally, sorry, I can't stand my hair. I should have done it before making this video. Normally, I try not to jump on the EA hate bandwagon as much as some people do, okay? There's some companies like Westwood, for example. You guys never heard of Westwood? It was an old RTS company, and they made the Command & Conquer series, and they were beloved, and they went out of business after they were bought by EA, and everyone blames EA. But what they don't remember about this company is when you look through their catalog, and here, I'm actually going to bring up Westwood here real quick. Okay, when we bring up their gaming catalog, right before they were dying, let's actually look at this. So they had Earth and Beyond. Now, this was a large MMO. This was not an MMO company. And they took EA's money, and they took EA's financial stability, and what did they do with it? They tried to make a very large, expensive MMO that flopped. That doesn't sound great. No matter how you try to put it, that doesn't sound great, okay? Let me zoom in here real quick for you guys. So that was Earth and Beyond. And I'm going to look at their last games, okay? Because I dislike the narrative that EA is murdering games. Are they great? No. I don't think as a company that they're up there. But I would call them like mid-tier. And I would say that a lot of times, actually, it really wasn't their fault. See, because this is back in 2002. I think they shut down in 2003. So it's been like 18 years, and people still hate on them for this, okay? But I think even by modern standards, you can still understand the point. If you are making RTS games, and you get financial backing from EA, and you flop on an MMO, they're not going to keep your company around. Let's look before that. Command & Conquer Renegade. Flop. Anyone remember it? It was the FPS, that's right, the first-person shooter version of Command & Conquer. Command & Conquer being an RTS series, real-time strategy. So here we have MMO, here we have FPS. Here we have Pirates, The Legend of Black Cat. I don't think anyone who's even my age even remembers this game. Emperor Battle for Dune. Okay, not a bad game. I love this game. I actually really love this game. Unfortunately, it also kind of flopped. Command & Conquer Red Alert 2, this did good. But how many flops versus how many good ones do we have? Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. Wow, actually, you're right. This did great. Except, actually, if you remember, it didn't. A lot of people really disliked Tiberian Sun's futuristic setting. They also thought that Nod was so much more powerful than GDI that it ruined the multiplayer, because instead of having two factions, you basically only had one. Then you had extremely unfun things like air spam was practically uncounterable because the Nod aircraft bombers outran anti-aircraft missiles. Now, I don't think I would have to tell anyone that if your bomber is outrunning anti-aircraft missiles, all you need to do is build enough bombers to eventually destroy the opposing base and you win. And that got lame. So of their last 5 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'll say 6, 7, let's go Nox, 8, Sports Car GT, 9, Recoil, 10, Lanza Lore 3. So you have to go back to Dune 2000. Okay, you need to go 11 games in to find more than one successful game. What does this have to do with Dead Space 2? Nothing. Nothing at all. What does it have to do with Dead Space? Nothing at all. All I'm saying is that Westwood isn't as bad as they're made out to be, but they're still not great. However, again, and I'm just saying this to try to be impartial here. I'm just saying this to try to be impartial, to not seem like one of those dudes who's just gonna rail on EA bad, they're the worst, I hate them. But still at the same time, even with that in mind, okay, rebooting a franchise that you killed, that's done. Canonically, it's done. The humans are dead, it's all over, it's done. Okay? Now you could restart it after the first game, you could redo the second and the third game. Sure. Fine. Maybe you pull like a Final Fantasy, what was it, 7 remake? I don't know. Maybe you do that. And then you change the plot enough that you can move from there. Okay, fine. But there's still something a bit sketchy, in my opinion, about killing a franchise, putting another studio on that franchise that aren't even the original people who built it. And that feels wrong to me too, because if you built up the franchise and you're not even a part, see, look at my hair. I hate this. I hate this. I need to redo my hair. Maybe I'll redo the whole video. Anyway, if you, yeah, just basically, yeah, it just feels scummy and bad to me, because the original people don't even get to work on it. Maybe some of them come back, but the studio as a whole doesn't. That means a lot of people won't. A lot of people have moved on. They're not going to come back to work on Dead Space, nor should they be expected to. You know, no, they shouldn't be expected to come back and work on it to EA, who, again, yeah, really did them dirty on Dead Space 3, and the company got shut down. Oh, okay. Dead Space getting a full remake. They may also act as a reboot for the series. Okay, so it did say it right there. Okay, I'll zoom in here just so you guys know I'm not going crazy and saying things that aren't true. So that's basically all I wanted to say. Dead Space getting a rework. Not a big fan of it. Sorry, remake. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure all the Dead Space people are sitting there like, I do want a remake, but I don't want to give EA money because they killed it. But I do want my remake, but EA, but my remake, but EA. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm at. It's almost like, yeah, it's kind of like they have it hostage, and that's what I don't like. Is God, in gaming, situations like this tend to happen a lot, where a studio can kind of have a series hostage, Mega Man and Silent Hill. They can, Metal Gear, do things with it that the fan base can't really argue with because they literally own it, even if the people who worked on it, you know, and sure, that's all fine. They put the money in, they made it. It's just, to me, it feels bad. It's a feels bad man type situation. It's not a you can do anything about it situation. It's just a feels bad man type situation. So that's it. That's the whole video. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm sorry if this is ranty or bad or this wasn't really entertaining at all, but I know it's probably not funny. Okay, I'm sure none of you are laughing. But, you know, this is Shinshin variety, so even if you guys aren't going to laugh, then, well, whatever. But thank you all. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all. Thank you, everybody. Join my Patreon to support more videos and to get me a hair transplant so my hairline doesn't look bad, even though it's not even a bad hairline. It's just this piece of hair keeps going down. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, rest of your night, whatever you'd want to do. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.